Hey, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Okay, well, let's do this. Current blood sugar is 8.9. I've had one correction. It's now 6:30 at night. We usually do this in the morning, but okay, active insulin is 1.525 units. Had pretty well okay day. Stayed within reason. Had my meal at 1700. Did insulin, so it's a plus. Okay, time in range 92%. So, yes, as per the last video, it is a win. 8% above, 92% time in range, and the average sugar is 7.4. I think it's been a pretty good day so far, and we'll see where it takes me. Today, I want to talk about the lucky ones, and we are the lucky ones. So, sit back. I don't have a coffee cup, or you could have a cup of tea, coffee, whatever you like. But sit back, relax, and we'll be ready to go. Stay tuned. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon. I'll be back in just a couple of seconds. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Hi, I'm back. Who are the lucky ones? Well, we live in a era where the discovery of insulin has saved countless lives. And it still really annoys me when people don't take care of themselves using their medication. Where young girls, and I don't know how relevant it is today, but back in 1978-ish, 77, there was an article in the Diabetes Dialogue that said young teenage girls were stopped taking their insulin so they could look thin and keeping their svelte bodies. And that just really annoyed me. But yet, I would take more insulin to control my blood sugars. I would eat whatever I wanted. But now, looking back on those times, I was just as bad. So, really, anyone who's going to play around with their insulin needs to have a discussion with someone. And I'm not being derogatory, but they need to open up about why they're not taking their insulin, why they're taking too much. Another story I heard, I had these two friends who were diabetics who I met at Lionsgate Hospital come down, and we're going to go on to the pump, and that's how I got my first pump through, trying to get into the discussion. And she was saying that, oh yeah, she could eat whatever she wanted and she would just inject insulin into the vein. I'm thinking, yeah, that's going to do a lot. Well, that's how she was controlling. And you don't really know how the insulin, once it gets into the bloodstream, without going through the tissue, how it's going to respond. And putting it right into your vein drops it. I know for a fact, because when I go into DKA, they give me IV insulin, and my blood sugar starts to come down. Last September, I got really sick with DKA, and was obviously because of the illness, the insulin wasn't getting into my body. I remember what I felt like, and going into that hospital, I was taken by a stretcher, and I was put in. Actually, not a stretcher, sorry, I lied. I was put in through my hospital bed, and my blood sugar I was so sick. I was really sick. And it's kind of like, the best way I can describe it is I felt like I had the flu with no temperature. I had been vomiting, I was dehydrated. They put me on IV insulin. I think I went in there at 42 blood sugar, and it came back down, and it came to 17. By the time I left emergency, was headed over to another hospital, my blood sugar was 17. It was amazing how quickly things happened. But, yeah, that's great, but draws me back in my mind, not my crazy mind, and just about why do people want to open themselves up to this case? Or why does someone want to give themselves so much insulin that it's putting yourself into shaky? But again, why do people do drugs? It just really annoys me that there are some people out there who aren't thankful for the gift of life. Now, I'm not talking that these people could pass on because of wanting to die and be the nicest gift, even though there's always been folklore about people dying of insulin injection. If you gave someone who wasn't a diabetic insulin, they would die. It's not true. Don't ask me how I know, but it isn't true, because I've been told stories of weightlifters using it. And it's like, insulin is the cure that we were lucky enough. If in let's say First World War era, if you got diabetes, that was pretty much the death sentence. You were put on pretty much a starvation diet. That was the only way they could control blood sugar. And you were drinking water all the time. You were so dehydrated. Now we have a way to live the natural, enriched lives, and yet people don't take advantage of it, or they use it as a limitation. Oh, I can't do that because I'm a diabetic. I'm on insulin. Doesn't really matter. Insulin is a medication. It is a life affirming medication, but it is a medication. It should be treated with respect. And for those who are on or have to reduce their insulins because they can't afford them and they go into rationing mode and have lost their lives, how lucky we are in Canada where insulin is fully covered. I'm so thankful that we have insulin. And we should celebrate that we get insulin and insulin paid for. In Canada, we have a social safety net that won't let people who need insulin go without. It's not only insulin, it's other drugs. But these are life-affirming medications. And keeping your body in prime mode is the important aspect. Don't play around with your insulin. Be thankful. Give the insulin the respect it needs, because it could cause you problems. Now, problems, if you cut back too much insulin, you could end up going into diabetic fit. It's diabetic ketoacidosis. If you take too much insulin, you could end up unconscious. Like, let's say, in the middle of an intersection in the city of Vancouver. We are the lucky ones. We were given a gift, and we need to respect and utilize the gift within the parameters set by your physician. Short video today. That's all I really wanted to say. Have a great day, and we'll talk later. Bye now. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.